Hello, viewers. I'm Vibhuti Jha. This is Jaipur Dialogue USA. Please like, subscribe, and support our channel. Thank you for watching today, and support us every which way possible. Let's talk about one of the most significant events that has happened in the year 2024, and that is the capitulation of Bangladesh to the American deep state gameplay. Now, we all know that international geopolitics is about controlling, manipulating, managing relationships, and influencing arenas and areas which you want to influence. So, it is important to bear in mind Bangladesh incident, the way Sheikh Hasina's government was overthrown over an island not being given to Americans, deep state request to American request, is a clear sign that how the global South has to be very careful. Otherwise, powers that be, they will try to upend your system. And it's a warning sign for the rest of the world that if you do not capitulate or give in to the demands of the big brothers, the younger brother is going to suffer. Now, that's very important because what we saw is rampant rioting, looting, killing, absolute mayhem against Hindus in Bangladesh. Nobody is talking about it because it's the internal matter of the country. Because nobody would like to talk about the internal matters of the country. Many people have talked about why Modi hasn't said anything about Bangladesh Hindus and why United Nations has not done anything about it, why US is not doing anything about it, because nobody wants anybody else to comment upon the internal matter of a country unless it is of a genocide nature. And that's what is happening in Bangladesh. And that's what is important about it. There is a Hindu genocide happening in Bangladesh right now. Now, the other element, the visual was that President Biden was giving a hug to Mr. Yunus, the Nobel Peace Prize winner, Grameen Bank founder in Bangladesh. This man was imported and installed by the US government in Bangladesh. Now, we also know that how Bill Clinton also supported their entire thing that happened in Bangladesh. What is the lesson that we know about it? The lesson that we have seen is that there is a clear intent to destabilize the Prime Minister Modi's government in India. Because Prime Minister Modi is a strong candidate. He's at the moment totally unshakable. He's not managerial class guy who a group of people will try to manipulate and manage in his own way. India is on the rise. India is rising. And he has openly declared that by 2047, India would be the third economic power. So there are many vested interests who are using forces within the country to destabilize India. That's the significance of the Bangladesh incident or Bangladesh regime change that happened there. That it is they are trying very hard to use in the alliance Rahul Gandhi, who is somewhere along the line emerging as the Zelensky of East, being manipulated and installed, more manageable. So think about it like this. When Prime Minister Modi came here, there was a talk whether he will meet Trump, whether he will meet others or not. Prime Minister Modi did not meet any of the political leaders other than the President of the United States who had invited him to come here. But Zelensky goes to a defense manufacturing plant and makes statements against Trump and the opposition party. The media is saying nothing about it. They just reported that matter. Is that all right? This is where one has to understand the rate and the manner in which powers that be are playing the game against India. They do not want India to be an economic giant or a member of United Nations Security Council. The French president said in his UN address that India, Brazil, a couple of other countries deserve a place in the United Nations Security Council, which must be reconstituted. So the world is going through a churn of its own. War is not the instrument of 21st century. Prime Minister made that statement. He is the only guy who is appearing to be in a manner of statesman to make sure that war is not used as a continuous tool of destabilizing a region or destabilizing the economic conversation or the social life of people, because millions die, millions get displaced. So Bangladesh scenario, in which he virtually capitulated. The Bangladesh nominated President Yunus, was he bent his knee to all these people, to Clinton and Biden. And look at the way they were treating him as a hero. I remember some days ago, a think tanker in America said that Mr. Modi has refused to meet Mr. Yunus in the United Nations, and he must meet them if he wants a good India-US relationship. And that was pretty appalling. It came from a very prestigious think tank that imploring upon Modi to meet with Yunus in Bangladesh, in New York. And I had said, no, he doesn't have to meet them. Prime Minister is not coming for United Nations General Assembly meeting. He is coming for Quad meeting, and he's attending Indian diaspora, and he's going back after giving the speech on the future of the century of the world. This is where we stand today. India, Indians everywhere in the world, whether in America or in India, need to be cognizant of this fact that somebody, the deep state, is trying to do a regime change in India. Bangladesh has become a classic example of, to use the Hindi word, tattoo of United States. And using Bangladesh and its people, Rohingyas and others, pressurize India to manage their affairs. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't take Bangladesh incident lightly. It is a pointer. It's a very serious pointer, because what is happening is with the help of China, China is encircling India in its own way. China doesn't like India to be a prosperous economic or political giant. China knows that it will have problem handling India, because Chinese are very scared group of people. They are fearing India. The rise of India, they are very concerned about it. And for other reasons that I have said this before, this is the century that belongs to India, to our dharmic practices. Science and technology are the biggest enablers of our process. So people are trying to undermine us. The unholy alliance is aligned against Sanatan Dharma. And Bangladesh has been made as an example. The Hindus' treatment in Bangladesh has been made as an example. It's time for us to remain very aware, very cognizant, and make sure that nothing is done in the country using domestic people to upend India through the Satrak mentality of many political leadership. You have seen this happen here. I said this in my program earlier on. Look at Rahul Gandhi's visit to this country. It was all about subservience, complaining about India, complaining about things imaginary and fictitious in a manner that befits that this man doesn't need to be there. Prime Minister Modi's statement was all about future, the power, the rise of India, whereas this man, Rahul Gandhi, wants to undermine. That's the gameplay. That's the gameplay that America wants somebody weak, subservient, just like Congress Party has always been, whether it was Manmohan Singh's regime or it's Rahul Gandhi. Rahul Gandhi is trying to become the second Zelensky, an absolute pappu of America. And I object to that. I don't like it. It's time for us, everybody, to negate that, to condemn that, to stand up against it. Thank you very much for watching. Satyameva Jayate. For truth to triumph, we need to stand up and fight for it. Thank you.